Hello everyone. Today we'll be starting to talk about moving up the caged chords. So this is just a continuation of the basic open chords. Make sure you learn those first. We're actually not going to start with C. We're going to start with E and then A. I've decided to actually kind of separate them into different videos, I think, for each shape, just so, this video doesn't end up being 20 minutes long or something. So it's more digestible. So the E shape, right? So let's start with E major. We learned these last time. So if we move this guy up, right? Almost anything on the guitar can kind of be copy and pasted somewhere else you can imagine. So, right, we just move it up. But why doesn't that sound the same? Right? It's because we're not actually moving up every note in this chord. If you think it's fret 2, 2, 1, and then a bunch of open strings, which we can consider fret 0. So if we go, instead of 2, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, everything else is still 0. So the zeros actually also have to have a +1 to it as well, which means we have to do this. Right? This is what a bar chord is. Okay, so now it's 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, everything got one fret added to it. Moved one fret up, you can consider. So we can move this up wherever. That's what I mean when I say everything can be copy pasted. As long as it's all the same relationship, then it will stay the same. So down here, right, it's an E major. That's sort of, you can think, the original shape. This is E major, and we're using the same E major shape to move it up. So whenever we move it up, it's always going to be a major chord. Wherever I place it, it's always going to be a major chord, but it won't be an E major. It might be an F major, it might be a G major, it might be a B major, or it could be a D major. So that just depends where we're putting the chord. Okay, the root note, we'd call it. Okay, so the same logic can literally be applied to all chords on the guitar, and this is going to get easier to understand the more you do it. But I'd recommend starting with the E shapes. They typically tend to be the easiest for most people. So again, you can move up the E major shape. It's always going to be a major chord, but it won't be an E anymore when you move it to a different spot. It could, again, be an F major, G major, so on. We can also move up everything else, like I said. So the minor shape starts like this. If we move it up, we also have to move up the open strings, so we're going to change our fingers. Some people like to almost think of this as, imagine this guy to be a capo. You know, a lot of people can get behind this, right? And then this is basically fret 2. Same exact thing. So instead of the capo, we're just using our finger. That's all. Okay? So again, no matter where we move this, it's always going to be a minor chord, right? An important thing to know through all of this is the shape equals the chord type. Okay? So this shape, when I move it up, it's always going to be a minor chord. Shape equals the chord type. Where you put it, really specifically where that top note is, the root note, that's what letter it's basically going to be. Again, this could be an A minor, my mistake. It could be a B minor, it could be a G minor, it could be an F minor. Notice F minor, F major. Different shape, same spot. F major, F minor, F major, F minor. G minor, G major, G sharp major, G sharp minor, so on. Okay? Let's go over the other ones real quick. So, we have E major shape, E minor shape. E minor 7, very simple. We're just going to take off the pinky. Okay, and again, wherever we move this, it's always going to be a minor 7 chord. Super easy. We can also add the pinky just outside of that box, right? So if we're thinking like it's in 2 frets, just outside of that on the B string. Right? This is a really nice voicing. minor 7 chord. Again, you can just do it like this, by the way, without the pinky. The dominant 7 is also quite easy. We just take the major shape and we take off the pinky. Again, so wherever we move this, it's always going to be a dominant 7 chord. And we can also add the pinky, not necessary, but we can get that guy in there as well. Okay, it's always going to be a dominant 7 shape, wherever you move this. And the last one, major 7. This one looks a little bit different how people typically play this. So I showed you, I think, this last time in the open position. So that would be like an E major 7 shape. Now we could move that up, and that would look sort of like this. And that's fine, but this is a little awkward, I find. And what typically you'll see most people do is they'll kind of modify it so it's not even a bar chord. I'm not even flattening anything down. What I have is, let's try it on fret 3. So if this is our root note, you want to make sure, first of all, your pointer finger is not actually parallel with the fret. You want to actually kind of angle it like that. So you can fit the middle finger now on the B string. And notice, again, very high arch. And then you're going to get your ring finger, pinky on the D string and G string. So the A string should kind of be muted underneath your pointer finger, and then the bottom string hopefully is muted also, sort of with your pointer finger down there. So you should have this. My mistake. Okay, and again, wherever you move this, it's always going to be a major 7 chord. Okay. The other way people do this is grabbing that root note with a thumb and then changing the fingers. This one's nice because you can have this pinky free. Grab other extensions, which can be very nice. So, hope that helps. That's all of the E shapes. There will be more videos discussing all of the other shapes.